我们不再满足于过去的模式，而是积极寻找机会，迎接挑战，探索新的可能性。我们看到过去，并利用好当下的每一个时机，才得以眺望未来。欢迎来到 TEDxGuangya High School。今天我们将一起聆听实心故事，思考实心话题，找寻 the unknown in life。首先，让我们走进每天必不可少的话题——食物。食物与营养在疫情阶段成为了津津乐道的话题，足不出户，让每一个人都能成为进得了厨房的大厨。而预制菜、科技与狠活带领其背后的食品安全，也逐渐成为民以食为天的中国人饭桌上谈论的常客。让我们有请高一14班的陈欣同学谈谈 Food&Products Inside My
I want you to think about the main thing that you did during quarantine early on this year. Now, I want you to think about the thing that brought you most comfort during that time. Got it? It may be the exact same thing. It may be polar opposites. Hi, I'm Celine, and today I'm going to talk about the thing that brought me, amidst of all chaos and uncertainty, a safe harbor. Keep in mind, this was a time when the streets were filled with vacancy, and going out for just a casual walk or a simple grabbing of snacks was an inconvenience. We weren't exactly in a place fit for supermalls or fast food chains. In fact, our whole family moved to the suburbs, surrounded by miles of mountains and ponds, and organic farms tended by hardy farmers more than glad to stuff you with their seasonal goods. It was in this environment, without a shadow of food delivery services and fresh produce at our door every day, that we were forced to eat homemade food every day, 7 days a week, for 4 months straight. I know, so excruciating, right? It's always been the same for food. You've eaten 3 meals a day for your whole life. It's repetitive, but somehow not dull. Whether if it's something that changing in ingredients, or if it's just your brain giving you a coping mechanism so you can survive. But it's not until you pick up the pan and wok that you start to realise the beauty of it. That's right, the process of making food intrigued me. It's not just some dopamine rush when you watch a cooking video. Because isn't it amazing how something so essential to our survival and all the chemical processes in our body is also so appealing to our senses? It didn't stop there. I put all my time and energy and resources into making food. Been in an endless cycle of online lessons, cram studying, and strict schedules every day. You need, more than anything, a dependency, something to give you a sense of stability. I found most connected when I made my food from scratch, because you could still feel the life in the ingredients. To give you an example, it's the Lunar New Year and you want to eat some hunger. Oh, sorry. You want to eat some hunger. For that, you need rice dough and sesame filling. No problem. Now you need sesame powder and rice flour. Okay, great. For that, eat sesame seeds and glutinous rice. The same point for every food I made, for every meal I ate. You dissect the ingredients into the most basic forms until you get to something that was once some form of life. You may argue, but Celine, isn't that all a bit tiring? You're right. It's no easy process, but when you get the first taste of food, the feeling that you get is indescribable, and that makes up for it. Well, I was wondering in this little world of mine, a new rush of internet phenomenon was rising on Chinese social media. You may or may not have heard of the word hextech before. It originated from the game League of Legends, and since I don't play any video games, I'm just going to read the definition of it online. Hextech is a magical technology that fuses elemental and spirit magic to create exquisite artifacts that can be wielded by anyone, not just a few people out there with a natural aptitude for the arcane. Basically, the more creative you are, the greater your magical abilities are. And how is that related to anything I've said before, you may ask? In the Chinese food business, hextech is a word used to refer to synthetic food made from additives and a whole bunch of other chemicals. was first brought to light by the blogger by the name of Celine. He made videos of sausages made completely from starch and food colouring, honey made from sugar syrup and artificial flavours, and also boba tea not containing a single drop of milk. This created a chain reaction among content creators online, who all had a thing or two to say about the complex composition of modern-day food products. Speaking of modern-day food products, I must introduce a new concept: ultra-processed foods, which is UPF for short. This is not to be confused with processed foods. Almost every food is processed in some way. Flour is harvested, cleaned, and milled. Animals are butchered and packaged. Meanwhile, UPFs are, according to Carlos Montero, a food scientist, formulations of ingredients, mostly of exclusive industrial use, made by a series of industrial processes, many requiring sophisticated equipment and technology. These so-called foods are often rich in calories, but lack nutritional benefits, and replaces healthier, more authentic alternatives for their cheapness. However, this is not a blow at people who cannot afford better options, but simply a statement directed towards food firms who fill their products with additives in order to make a profit. So what are the effects of eating a UPF diet, you may ask? A BBC documentary stuck with me after watching it for the first time. It follows the journey of Dr. Van Tulpen, a British doctor/TV presenter, along with a 30-day challenge of switching from a clean food diet to a UPF diet. After consuming food like fried chicken, pre-made pizza, and industrially packaged meals for a month, he described symptoms such as hangovers, headache, heartburn, and waking up at night. These hyperpalatable foods, which is just a fancy name for extremely addictive and delicious foods, are full of thiamine mononitrate, sodium phosphate, and a whole bunch of other chemical names that are bound to take a while to get out of your mouth. No pun intended. After the challenge, the doctor went for a scheduled checkup and waited till he heard the results. His weight went up by 6.5 kilograms, of which 3 kilograms of it was fat. The hunger hormone in his body, ghrelin, went up by 30%, and there was a decrease in his fullness hormone, leptin, which caused him to have endless hunger and cravings, even straight after eating. And you haven't even heard the worst yet. New nerve connection in his brain connected the reward center of his brain to the parts of his brain which drive repetitive automatic behavior. This means that it has become an unconscious decision to eat in UPFs. Basically, it has become an addiction, not too different from drugs that are deemed much more dangerous. According to New Medical, additives and preservatives in UPFs can also hurt the gut microbiome, along with traces of other bacteria. Naturally, after all these information bombs, I took action. For me, it wasn't even a hard start, because I managed to make food so interesting. So interesting, yes. I would wake up every day, looking forward to start my next meal, because that was how in love with food I was. It was my sole reason for waking up. I started tracking the changes in my body after eating a clean diet, a little reverse experiment from the ones I've seen before. The changes came gradually, but nonetheless clearly. Needless to say, the results were immaculate. Along with exercises every morning, I found my skin glowing without any products for the first time. And all the coarseness and acne from before, it was all gone. I no longer had problems in my body anymore. Not just because I achieved my body goal or something superficial like that, but because my whole mental state changed. I felt confident, and it felt free. You no longer care about those desperate cravings and anxiety it brings when you cave into those cravings. Because good, real food will let you feel full, satisfied, energized, and most of all, happy. Does this mean that food that altered by technology should be rejected and looked down upon entirely? Definitely not. Science is evolving every day at an unstoppable rate, and it would be such a waste not to apply to the food business. As the world population approaches 9.5 billion by 2050, food scientists from around the world have to rethink their approach to adapt to the needs. An article from The Economist shows us just some ways of how we could deal with this situation. Futuristic problems require futuristic solutions. Livestock farming has its pros, but it takes up too much spaces and resources. Also, contributes to a significant amount of greenhouse gases and soil erosion. And it may become a serious problem in the future if not managed properly. In replacement, insects, algae, and artificial meat may as well be the new trend of the future as substitutions of protein. With the introduction of GMOs in the past century, and the new age of third-generation genome editing technique, CRISPR-Cas9, being practiced more and more crops, fertilizers, pesticides, and boosters are becoming a level ahead, essentially leading to overcoming universal food scarcity and the diseases that come with it. It's in my strong and firm belief that there will be technological advances so great that it may alter the course of food production in the near future. So what do these all mean? Why have I chosen to stand on this stage and tell you everything I know and have learned and love about this topic? Let me tell you something. I hate modern food products. They've taken such a beautiful concept, food, and have turned it into an industrial product. They have exploited and abused the true meaning of food and all the life that comes with it for mass production. Has taken so much away from the process of making food, seeing how life interacts with each other, evolve, and of the time and energy, and resources that it takes for them to interact. I guess that's why cooking food for the whole process was so attractive to me, and why that seems surprising for so many people. However, I also love modern food products. Not for the food scientists and engineers that contributed to the industrialization of food. Half of you wouldn't be sitting here today, and I wouldn't be standing here talking about the quality of food if the main problem we were facing was starvation. And from my love-hate relationship sprouts my dream for learning more about food biotechnology. My dream to explore how I could dig deep into the science behind food while maintaining an integral relationship with it. There are always two sides of the coin for everything. UPFs are obviously inferior to clean foods health-wise, but in this fast-paced world where convenience and cheapness are favoured by most, can we really paint UPFs as the devil? Are organic foods not commercialised and capitalised for the sake of profit as well, compared to 100 years ago? From my experience, you can't have it both ways. You can't enjoy the health benefits as well as the ease of getting the food. My story is just one of millions of others to try to convince you to reconsider your priorities when it comes to food. Because at the end of the day, you're the only one who has control over what you eat. Thank you.